Working with large farm equipment always calls for keeping a watchful eye on what's nearby, especially for power lines. Tracy Dethlefs-Rademacher, Trauma Outreach Coordinator at CHI Health, Good Samaritan Hospital of Kearney, joins us now for some key things to keep in mind with electricity, along with dealing with allergies and reminders for back to school. Tracy, we know electricity is dangerous. Hopefully we won't come into contact with it, but just in case, what are some safety tips to use around electricity?
Paul, electrical injuries happen to us when we become part of the electrical circuit. Humans are more conductive than the ground we stand on, which means if there is no other easy path, electricity is going to flow right through our bodies. There are 4 potential types of injuries that can happen with this: electrocution, which can be fatal, electrical shock, burns, and falls. One safety tip to remember is look up. Be aware of any power lines that are around you. Watch your equipment and make sure it doesn't come into contact with the power line. If you do have to work close to some power lines, it's a good idea to call your electrical utility company first, and they can assist you. If your vehicle should come into contact with a power line, possibly after a crash, here are some tips to keep in mind. Don't get out of your vehicle. Stay put if at all possible. Call 911 and your local utility provider for help. Wait for the power company to come, and they will tell you when it's safe to get out of your vehicle. Never try to rescue another person if you're not trained to do so. We don't want 2 victims at the scene. If you must leave your vehicle, for example, if your vehicle catches on fire, exit by jumping as far as possible. If you can get at least 1.5 to 2 feet away, that's great. Try not to touch the vehicle or equipment and the ground at the same time. Keep your feet, legs, and arms as close to your body as you can. Keep your feet together, shuffling your feet for at least 3 to 4 feet away before you start taking those normal steps. And try not to let your feet separate, or you could become shocked or electrocuted. If someone does come in contact with power, possibly while working on their equipment, try to unplug that source first if you are able to do so, and then call 911.
It's that time of year some of us are noticing a scratchy throat or sneezing, and if it isn't here yet, probably on the way. Tracy, what can you tell us about allergy season?
According to the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, grass is the most common trigger for people with hay fever. Autumn is ragweed season, and their pollen is a very common allergen, and the symptoms of ragweed allergy can be extremely severe. Other plants that drop their pollen in the fall can include nettles and sorrels. The best medicine for hay fever and year-round allergic rhinitis is avoidance. Medications are also great to treat symptoms of hay fever. Contact your local weather network for pollen forecasts and try to stay indoors when the pollen counts are high. At times of the year when your hay fever is active, try to keep your windows shut and use your air conditioner instead, and limit your outdoor time if possible, and consider wearing a dust mask when you do go outside, especially on those windy days. It's also important to avoid cigarette smoke, which can aggravate your hay fever symptoms. When you can't avoid your allergens, other treatments are available, including over-the-counter decongestants and antihistamines or prescription medications such as steroid nasal sprays. In severe cases, your doctor may even recommend allergy shots. They're a type of immunotherapy that can help desensitize your immune system to the allergens. A simple shower at bedtime may also help out.
Talking right now with Trauma Outreach Coordinator Tracy Dethlefs-Rademacher of CHI Health, Good Samaritan Hospital of Kearney. Tracy, as summer starts to wind down, back to school season in full swing, what do we need to know to keep the kids out there safe?
With the end of summer vacations just around the corner, students and parents alike are beginning to prepare for the upcoming school year. While kids are probably more concerned about making the last of those summer days count, parents want to make sure that their child is not only prepared for the classroom but safe. Sometimes all we need to remember is to safely share the roads with the school buses, pedestrians, bicyclists, and provide children with the necessary knowledge about safety. Whether children walk, ride their bikes, or take the school bus, it's extremely important that they and the motorists around them take time to think about safety. Injuries are common at school, but a lot of them can be prevented. So before you send your children off, be sure to run through these basic safety topics. There's backpack safety you can look up, playground safety, concussion risk in sports, and tips for a safe bus ride. Also, talk to your teen about their driving responsibilities. Another concern for all of us to learn is to keep our heads up and our phones down. All of us, not just kids, need to pay attention to our surroundings, especially during the traffic.
Tracy, what do you have for some final thoughts?
I just wanted to remind parents and coaches to brush up on their knowledge of concussions and what some of the signs and symptoms are. We want people to remember the saying, when in doubt, sit them out, to avoid any potentially devastating or fatal consequences. Stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, Tracy. That's Tracy Dethlefs-Rademacher, Trauma Outreach Coordinator at CHI Health, Good Samaritan Hospital of Kearney, discussing ways you can be safe when encountering electricity, preventing issues with allergies, and ways we can be ready for back to school. In case you missed something in this interview and want to listen to it again or many of our other interviews, you can go to our podcast page at krvn.com. I'm Paul Perkins on the Rural Radio Network.